Well, I would explain that the spine, if it's not flexible and moving correctly, they have these blocks. The vertebra, when it's not moving, it can get blocked up in any direction.
So let's say I go like this, like I'm turning now. Is it going like this?
You have to realize that going to a chiropractor is very similar to the process if you went to the gym. That's correct. I mean, your friends told me that the only six-pack you get is like a beer six-pack.
There's also research that shows that it doesn't work, right?
YouTube, subscribe, please.
So Tony, today I want to talk about just straight chiropractic. If you had to explain chiropractic to a 5-year-old, how would you explain it?
It's funny you say that, but that's exactly how I always try to explain things, especially medical things. I say, how would I explain it to a 5-year-old? Well, I would explain that the spine, if it's not flexible and moving correctly, they have these blocks, and that affects both how you move and your nerves. So you could have muscle contraction and also pain. So this is an example. So basically what I would explain to a 5-year-old is that this is an example of the vertebra, and if it moves less than it should, it causes pain, problems.
So this is how it should move, right? It should move like this?
It moves in all different directions. So it moves in rotation, it moves in lateral flexion, it moves a combination of these.
So let's say I go like this, like I'm turning now. Is it going like this?
It's individually like a chain, like on a katana. And depending upon which way you move, it will move in more than one direction, whether it be rotation and lateral flexion. And my job is to check where it's not moving properly and to put an adjustment into it so it moves properly. If it doesn't, muscles get contracted, nerves get irritated, and you have pain.
So what happens if, let's say I go like this? It means that the spine is like, it's kind of going like this, right?
To some degree, yes.
Yeah, well, we're exaggerating.
Exactly, okay. Correct.
And the box is basically that the movement is not that smooth, or
Okay, well basically what it is
we changed toy because this one is nicer.
This one's pretty. By the way, it was a gift from Mongola. The vertebra, when it's not moving, it can get blocked up in any direction. And my job is to see what direction it's not moving and then move it in that direction. And that.
So it could be like this, right? It's blocked this way. So if it's blocked, let's say on the right, so I cannot move this way.
Right. Then the adjustment would definitely come from this direction. Okay. Exactly.
So it's like this.
Exactly. So if it's like that, then the adjustment would be in the opposite direction of how it doesn't move. It could be in any direction. It could be like this. It could be in a combination of two. So it could be extension, flexion, lateral flexion, rotation. So there's many different ways.
If it's blocked this way, the adjustment would aim to bring it up.
Correct. Okay, so you got it. He's very smart.
And now I also want to address another myth buster. One adjustment is going to fix your health. And if you have neck pain and you make one adjustment, then you're free of the pain.
Okay, well I have to say that if you are Padre Pio and you have stigmate, yes, that's correct. But since I'm a normal chiropractor and I don't have any bleeding from the palm of my hands, and no, I'm not Padre Pio, I'm just Padre Tony, no, you cannot. You have to realize that going to a chiropractor is very similar to the process if you went to the gym. That's what I tell patients sometimes. I said, if you go to the gym and you want to make a change in your body, how long do you think it would take?
I wouldn't know because I don't go, but
average. Usually it's about, to get a change and get about 3 months. And that's usually how long it takes to make a change in the neuromusculoskeletal system, whether it be the vertebra, the articulations, and the muscles. It takes some time. So it's not quick. The pain might go away sometimes it could go away in an adjustment, 2 adjustments, or 4, but the symptoms are something different than the objective tissues.
So actually, if the pain goes away, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
Correct. He's a good chiropractic patient. So let's just say he has neck pain and I adjust him 4 times and he no longer has neck pain. Okay. That does not change the fact that the tissues like ligaments and tendons they're still damaged, and it takes time because like muscles takes 2 weeks. Ligaments and tendons take 3 months. Nerves take, depending upon the distance, is damaged. So the symptoms always go away first before the tissues objectively heal.
We got that if the pain goes away, it doesn't necessarily mean that the problem is solved. Okay, but could it happen that once the problem is solved, then the problem comes back?
Yes, it could, of course. I mean, you guys are young, 26 years old, but if you're 53 years old and you have back problems, you're definitely going to have some degeneration in the vertebra. You could also have where you have the disc space, the vertical disc space reduced. When that happens, the problem can come back, and it can come back either because you have a little arthritis, you have degeneration, or because you have a trauma, stuff like that. So it could come back.
For example, if, let's say I don't sit well, right? Yeah. I start sitting like this. Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna have start to have problems to my lower back, right?
Yes.
Come to you, you fix me, and I sit like this for a month, right? And then after 1 month, I start again like this.
Well, it's always the same thing. You know, the reason why your back got messed up is because you had bad posture. So I could fix it, but if you don't change the causes of why you came here, obviously it's not going to get fixed.
So it's kind of like in the gym, right? If I go and I get a six-pack, then I get the six-pack, and then if I start eating burgers, drinking beer, yes, goes away, and then I had to go to the gym again to get the six-pack.
That's correct. I mean, your friends told me that the only six-pack you get is like a beer six-pack.
That's true. So why do you think people have that clear in their mind about, I don't know, going to the gym and eating well, and it's hard for them to kind of like grasp that about chiropractic?
It's pretty simple. I think the reason is because people come here because they are suffering with some type of pain. So as soon as the pain goes away, they think they're well. I would think that's a mistake. That's probably negligence on my part, because I didn't explain it to them very well. It's not their job to know. It's my job to explain it to them well.
And so the third question I want to ask you is, what are the most common causes?
They always come for the same general symptoms for different causes. Okay. So like most people come for pain in the general. So it could be low back pain, neck pain, or they have radiation, they have herniated discs or protrusions, both in the cervical region and the lumbar region. I do some things with tremors and stuff like that, headaches. So basically the thing is, you know, neck pain, headaches, sciatica, problems like that are the main ones.
How different is your approach when someone comes and has a neck pain and a headache?
Well, I mean, like you said before, it might look the same on what I'm doing, like the treatment, but you have to distinguish what's the cause of the neck pain and what's the cause of the maladjustment of the headache. Because maybe it's something not in the neck, maybe it's something in the lower back. So you have to distinguish the cause of the problem.
Is it true that I read online that one adjustment here in the neck can fix an adjustment in the lower back?
Correct. If you block one of these links, it will affect the other one. So like if I free up here and it moves correctly, maybe this was a compensation for this.
So it's like this part was working more than it should to compensate for this block. You free this one goes back.
Yeah. I mean, you have to think of it just like a necklace. So like if I block up one of the links, it affects it. If I free it up, it affects it. It's a system that's closed, and everything affects the other part of the system. And you could have a problem with your ankle, and then that could affect you could have back pain.
So to close it up, one last question. Where do you see chiropractic going and evolving in Italy?
I see it continue to evolve how it is, like as a primary healthcare physician. I see it as, especially in Italy where the population is very old. So a lot of the problems that I treat are in older populations more than younger, even though the younger suffer also. So I see chiropractic as a mainstay in their healthcare lineup for their health. We help people, you know, live their lives normally, whether they're professional athletes or they're old people like grandmas and grandpas taking care of their children.
There's also research that shows that it doesn't work, right?
No, there's no research that shows it doesn't work. Absolutely, there's no research. The people who would say something like that, I don't know, they haven't looked. It's so easy. You could download all the research for it. There's no research that's saying that the adjustment doesn't affect low back pain and stuff like that. So that's, if there is any out there, please let me know.
Ending up, if you have any comments, link it up, and next videos we'll comment those.
Great, thanks a lot. This is fun. I like this as all this. YouTube, subscribe, please.
See you next time.
Ciao, ciao.